Hello, I'm Laura Trant. Welcome to South Today. In tonight's programme.
Well, Laura, have we had any more news about the condition of this man?
We do know his condition hasn't changed since he arrived here at the hospital. 29-year-old William Pooley is the first British person to have Ebola. He's being treated behind me in the Royal Free Hospital here in Hampstead in North London. He was working as a volunteer nurse in Sierra Leone, where he was helping to care for people there who were suffering from the Ebola outbreak. But here at the Royal Free, he's being treated in a specialist unit. It's the only one of its kind in Europe. He's essentially in what looks like a special plastic tent. That gives a protective barrier between him, the patient.
So just take us through what they actually said.
Well, yes, the Pooley family have said in a statement, "Would like to express our thanks to all involved in bringing our son back to the UK. They say we've been astounded by the speed and the way in which various international and UK government agencies have worked together to get Will home."
Laura Trant's in Egham, I think.
Yes, Ben, that's right. Here in Egham, the road has literally turned into a river. That's because water is relentlessly seeping up from the oversaturated soil, so groundwater here is a real problem. That's, of course, combined with the pouring rain, making treacherous conditions. People are lining their homes with sandbags in an attempt to act as a barrier from that water. If I just step over some sandbags here, this is the home of Kathleen Davis. Kathleen has lived here since 1967. Kathleen, I know that you're very worried about your home, aren't you? Because water's inching its way up to the doorstep.
I'm very, very concerned and angry all this hasn't been done earlier with the drains.
And you must be very worried, Kathleen, for your home. Tell us about how anxious you are.
It's like a nightmare and I can't believe it's happening. I will do everything I can protect for myself, the property, but at the moment it's not promising.
I was in your sitting room with you earlier and you've made lots of preparations if the worst does happen. You're moving furniture out and upstairs, aren't you?
Yes, I've got two from the church helpers that took quite a lot of little things to...
So it's a very difficult time for you, and you've lived here, haven't you, since 1967. Yes. Have you experienced it like this before?
No, only 2013, is it 2 years ago, it was back, but nothing like this.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen this time round. Kathleen, thank you very much indeed for that. Well, of course, we've got a month's rainfall predicted in just the coming few days, so this is a problem that really isn't going away very fast.
Is there a knotweed creeping up behind you? Morning, Laura.
It's creeping up my leg as we speak, Bill. Yes, take a look here. This is the Japanese knotweed. It looks pretty innocent, doesn't it? But it's not. It's really destructive, as are these zebra mussels. They're really small, but when they all group together, they cause serious problems. They are just two of the examples of some of the things that people might not be able to grow, to own, to move around the country after the European Parliament votes on a bill that's being drawn up to list some of these unwelcome visitors.
The mood, Laura, must be pretty sombre today.
Yes, Bill, there is a real sense of sadness here at RAF Odium in Hampshire this morning, where 4 of the 5 British military personnel who died in Afghanistan were actually based. You can see behind me that floral tributes have started to be laid, flags are at half-mast, and tributes have been coming in. One of those is from the station commander here at RAF Odium, from Group Captain Richard Madison. He explained how in the week prior to the accident, he visited their base in Afghanistan.
And Laura, we can see this morning how much of it has been destroyed. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Louise. Yes, you can see behind me the contrast of the bright blue sky on what's a beautiful morning here in Eastbourne, coming through the skeleton, the very bare bones of the structure that we can see there. Yesterday, just after about 3:15, the fire started. There were about 80 firefighters trying to keep the blaze under control. They were assisted by the RNLI, and it was difficult because there were high winds as well. What the fire service have told me today is that through the night and this morning as well, they are trying to dampen tamping down hotspots which are still smouldering. You can see there is a jet over there which is trying to do that as I speak. And this isn't the first time that the pier has encountered a disaster like this. There was a fire back in 1970, and also, of course, let's not forget the Great Storm of 1987. You know, the Victorian piers along our coastlines are very vulnerable, but this has been considered the finest up to now. Well, the police have said they are keeping an open mind as to how Penelope Davis was killed. They said it could be somebody that was known to her, or equally it could have been a random stranger and a random killing. The body of Penelope Davis was found in a field that you can see behind me. This is a very beautiful and quiet part of the New Forest. Police have been stressing to local residents that crimes of this nature are very rare, but saying that they have stepped up their police presence and their patrols in the area. It's very picturesque here. It's as popular with local people as it is tourists. But today the outskirts of Beaulieu have been under the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. 5 men are back behind bars tonight after being found guilty of their part in a riot at Ford Open Prison in West Sussex. The mutiny on New Year's Day 2011 caused millions of pounds worth of damage. Well, today, Lee Roberts was found guilty of violent disorder and reckless arson.